The Matthew Dark Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, praise God and welcome in. This is the Matthew Dark Show. Now remember, hit subscribe everywhere you get your shows. Never miss an episode. A beauty for you today. Health warrior, sister in Christ, was a frontline doctor at the beginning of COVID-19. Remember, this was the thing that was made in a lab in North Carolina and then shipped to Wuhan, China. They told us it came from a wet market, I believe a pangolin at a Chinese wet market, just happened to be across the street from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And so we know we had an epic event happen and it changed the course of health in 2020. The amount of people that have made mass exodus from the traditional healthcare system after being deceived and let down by their traditional primary care doctor. There was so many of them. You get a vaccine, you stay indoors, you wear a mask, you say nothing, you do nothing other than what we tell you to do. And we had fighters, we had courage, we have brave doctors like Dr. Stella Immanuel, who basically said, no. We have a cure for this stuff. We have relief and life-saving treatments, came in the form of ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, all the supporting supplements that came together. So that's how we really came to know her work on a national level. But we've been on a pursuit of Make America. Oh, yes. And we are moving the healthcare perspectives in the individuals' minds are saying, okay, out of the box, I've got all of God's medicines in the earth to choose from, and then as well as all the talented people that he has put in science. And I think you have great choices now in America as a result of their choices on how they treated us during COVID-19. I want to welcome you in, Doctor. Of course, so good to see you. Always wonderful to have you. So we thank you so much for doing it. I don't know. Let's just bring us up to speed, at least when we deal with the COVID aftermath. What are you still seeing as far as infections, vaccine injured, preventative type of steps? Or what are you still seeing in practice right now with COVID-19, Wuhan 19, the virus that changed the world?
Thank you for having me, Matt. I know that, thank God, it's not as crazy as it was in 2020, but as we are speaking, there is a new COVID strain that is going around the world. They're in about 26 countries right now. They call it the cicada strain. And yet people are still getting sick, and I do see that, and we're seeing vaccine injured patients. In fact, I was in clinic yesterday and one of them came that since they took the vaccine, just so much stuff going on in their life. So we're dealing with that. We're dealing with vaccine injured patients. But and then we're dealing with also patients that are coming that have cancer, that want alternate treatment or immune support for cancer. Then the greatest one I'm about to launch is Dewormed America. So I want to
Oh my gosh, yes, let's get into it. So this is so wonderful. I want to start right there with sort of parasites in general and how little I think we know just as mainstream Americans in our health, how we're getting exposed to it, and then the consequences of having significant parasitic activity going on in the human body. Kind of just lay it out to it. How does one become infected, and then kind of the consequences, and what do we do about it?
Let me actually give you a little like way back. I grew up, and our parents, like every six months to a year, they will line all of us up and give us a dewormer and give us a antiparasitic, and we will all line up and take it. And but even now in Africa, like Cameroon, Nigeria, where I grew up, they don't deworm children anymore. They don't deworm people anymore. And then in America, in the 1900s, 1900, they used to deworm people in America too. People, they used to just, every 6 months to a year, they deworm people. So it was a culture that was like worldwide. And then I think with the Rockefeller influence on medicine and the medical industrial complex, they stopped deworming. So my question is, number one, we deworm our cats, we deworm our dogs, we deworm cows, we deworm horses. And in America, we eat with our dogs. I mean, I'm not an animal person like that, so I don't touch dogs, cats. But people allow the dogs to lick their face and kiss them and stay in the same bed with them. And after dogs eat everything on the street, including poop and dirt and and they have worms. You know what I'm saying?
And they want to lick your face.
Let them lick your face. And then we have people eat meat in America medium rare with blood in it. I have cows on our ranch, and we usually every year and a half to 2 years we'll take one of our cows to an abattoir to get it slaughtered so that we can, eat it. So I know how they handle slaughtering of cows. It is not a sterile environment that would like, man, all the parasites are gone. That's not true. So then people play in the grass. The crazy part is you will hear American doctors regurgitate this nonsense that was spewed to them by the medical industrial complex or the Rockefeller industrial complex that parasites are not in America because of the hygiene in America. We don't have parasites. I was like, okay, so your animals that you play with kids have parasites, but you don't. But here's the crazy part. Only in third world countries do they have parasites. So think about the fact that our border has been open. So millions and millions of people have crossed into our border from third world countries. So what do you expect that when they get to the border, the parasites will be like, hasta la vista, I'm not coming in. I don't come into America because I'm a third world parasite.
That's right.
That's crazy. The same people that cross the border from all over the world, they are cooks, they sit in the train with us, they touch us, and parasites are usually transmitted orophycal. Imagine somebody that has pinworms that scratches the butt all the time, touches a door, and then you come and touch it after them, and they are sitting in the plane, or they're cooking in the, something. There's a whole lot of stuff. Our vegetables, our fruits are from Mexico and many countries. So it does not make sense that we don't deworm. So most parasites are transmitted through food, orophycal. Some of them enter through the soil, and that is how parasites are mostly transmitted. So the truth about it is that the presence of parasites can cause all kinds of ailments. Parasite can cause cancer, like liver fluke, and in the brain, they can cause cancer. And you could actually just go on the NIH and you Google it, you will see studies that have showed that parasite cause cancer. They cause swollen lymph nodes, like filariasis. It's all caused by parasites, or things like, endometriosis. It can cause, IBS, Crohn's, all kinds of disease, colitis. It can cause, it causes brain fog, thyroid. It causes all kinds of problems. Parasites can be in just about every organ. Things like eczema, psoriasis, MS, just name it. Many situations are caused by parasites. And, basically, all of the brain problems, brain fog, and feeling drained, and, parasites are everywhere. They are in everything we eat, everything we touch. It just makes sense to deworm. And, the crazy part about it is that the deworming is not at major. A lot of people are like contacting Dr. Stella. Oh, we need to do a natural parasite cleanse and then binder and blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll actually hopefully find somebody that will help us work on a natural parasite cleanse. But why don't we just I'm still a medical doctor. So I'm actually about to launch giving people 2 medications, albendazole and ivermectin. You take it once, you repeat it in 2 weeks. Boom. Albendazole, ivermectin. Everybody, you get dewormed. When you take that deworming, the next thing we want to do, we're going to give you the COVID cleanse that has things like milk thistle and everything that will clean it out of your system. And then we can put you on the herbal teas that we have to just detox you on a cellular level. And your lymphatic system will be able to clean this process out of your body. So that's what I want us to do. Launching Deworming America. And basically, if you go to drsalami.com, you click on a telemedicine appointment. For right now, we're going to start with 8 states. I'm working with one other company that's going to make us cover all 50 states to deworm. So you just click there and you will see deworm. Once you deworm, it will show you where you can order the medications and the supplements that you can use. And I think it's going to be a great thing. And you don't have to come to me. Find a way to get dewormed. You can go to your doctor. You can go to the natural, whatever way. Find a way to deworm. And not just
Stella,
America. I'm going to launch it worldwide. Deworm. Doctor needs to launch deworming,
Well, you're right. You're so right. It tells me that, wow, I bet you parasites, the impact that they have on the body. You mentioned all these ailments, and well, Big Pharma wants to sell you medicine to treat those things. But if we deal with the root cause, these parasites, they're in big trouble. So we understand that good medicine is withheld or discouraged to most Americans because it's a sick care system. There's no doubt about it. Is any testing required, doctor? I mean, do we need to get the specific, or is it just the assumption you're a breathing human being, you're going to have parasites in some capacity? Let's knock them out.
Number one, you're a breathing human being, you're going to have parasites. Yep. When WHO launched deworming all over Africa, and these are things that studies that we done, they launched deworming with this thing. They did not go to every place and do swabs to find out whether you have parasites. I had one doctor, it's like, well, you can't just do one because, well, you have to wait and do tests and check this too. No, you don't. You don't. Moreover, the antiparasitics that we're using, they are safe. They are safe, they are effective, and it's not going to hurt you. So instead of you going through the whole process of trying to dig out and find out is there worms in my brain, just please take the deworm and move on. That is what the WHO practically launched deworming all over the world. You know, they use albendazole, ivermectin, and praziquantel. They use it in Africa, in East Africa, and Nigeria. You can Google it. You know, albendazole, praziquantel, ivermectin was used. Right now, I don't even know, praziquantel is like crazy, but usually albendazole and ivermectin can cover a whole bunch of worms. Talk to your doctor that, they can give you, it's usually you take it once and then you repeat it like in 2 weeks. And then do it again every 6 months to a year. And then take like a cleanse. We have a COVID cleanse that has things like milk thistle that will clean out of your system. And I think that people should do it because it's good for your health. It's like, it's like taking, that is a deworming, it's like taking that's a more effective vaccine.
Absolutely. It's like an oil change for your body, a quick reset. And you're going to check in a couple times a year and make sure I'm optimized. It's an incredibly toxic world we live in. We are being bombarded, parasite infection, bad medicines, good medicines. So we need to keep our body as pure. Let this God-given immune system do its thing. Let's get rid of the garbage that's preventing it. Okay, so that's fantastic, Dr. Stella. Now we get a lot of calls around that. I want to treat, and this is our next one. I want to treat cancer naturally. Do you have? I don't want to do chemo. I don't want to do radiation and all of these things. And cancer, I think, big pharma has made much more complex, much more expensive, much more. Oh, you could never deal with this with herbs and lifestyle and diet. Give us an idea how you're addressing patients with those concerns.
Yeah, we started, I remember like sometime last year, one of my godsons ended up with cancer. So it actually got me into the whole cancer space. And then so we started treating them. But this one thing I want to tell you, this disclaimer. Number one, I'm not an oncologist. Number two, whatever we do in cancer treatment should not replace whatever your oncology advises you to do. Because I don't want people to say, well, Dr. Stella said we shouldn't do surgery, we shouldn't do radiation, we shouldn't do this, and then we should only take herbs and then somebody died. No, we are offering cancer immune support. This is how it started. So met a young man, one of my godsons got cancer. So we started looking at help because, of course, they've been talking about ivermectin and cancer. So I reached out to my colleagues that have been doing it. I basically started him on ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine because we couldn't find fenbendazole. So I started him on ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. And then I was looking at moringa, and moringa had anti-cancer. So we have these herbs. So, and I will ask everybody listening to me, just Google moringa and cancer, lemongrass and cancer, turmeric and cancer, ginger and cancer, hibiscus and cancer, mint and cancer, soursop and cancer, spirulina and cancer. So as I started Googling these herbs, I found out that there have been studies. Every one of them be like, well, they have amazing anti-cancer properties, but there are no human studies. Apricot seed and cancer. So what we did is that we gathered together all the different herbs and we created what we call an ultimate immune tea that has, we put about half a teaspoon of all the herbs in one tea bag, which you can brew and it's really good. So you can take the tea bag, you brew it. Then we also, you can, N-acetylcysteine. Everybody knows we add N-acetylcysteine. Then we add Virimmune Plus that has echinacea, ECGC that all have anti-cancer properties. And then we add apricot seed. And then we tell them, if they're in America, we prescribe hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin for them. But we make them do a good disclaimer that says, we're not your cancer doctor, but we're just helping you with immune support or alternate medicine. But please don't replace this with what your oncology says. And I'm telling you, oh my God, I just started this like 7 months ago. I've had amazing results already. I had one of the young people that I put on the regimen. He had a colorectal cancer that went from a peach size to right now they just see a little thickening. And then, in fact, a guy there are many anecdotal reports that we already have. So it's an amazing thing that I've decided to venture in. People around the greater Houston area, they just come to my clinic Tuesday afternoons. This is when we deal with cancer patients. So we just give them a disclaimer and they sign everything. They said, make sure that they tell them that, please don't replace what we're doing with your oncologist. And you know what? Interestingly, We've had people that were taking a chemotherapy and they will get sick like a dog. When they start taking immune support, especially the ultimate immunity, they will practically go through chemotherapy without any of the major side effects. Because in fact, if you go on the NIH, you will see like ginger. Ginger tea will help you with chemotherapy and make sure that you don't have the nausea and all the side effects of chemotherapy. So we tell people we're not replacing what your oncologist is doing. This is support. And I know there are other people. I've had a few cases. There was a lady that came in, two ladies actually that came in that has had like big tumors in the breast, and they just did not want to go to the doctor, which is part of the problem that's going on right now with this medical industrial complex distrust. And I tell people, don't do that. Please go see a doctor, get a diagnosis, do whatever you need to do. Don't allow your breast to get 3 times the size and you're just sitting in the house. I'm like, so I asked her, I said, why would you do something like that? So please get it checked. So when the minute she showed up, I sent her to a surgeon, sent her to an oncologist, give her the immune support. But we just want to make sure that I wish most oncologists would accept these adjuncts to treat their cancer patients. I don't know, but many doctors, their brains, I don't know what's going on. I'm beginning to wonder whether they are part of the cancer cabal or they just, I don't know what's going on with that. I've talked to one oncologist that was willing to try the immune support, the ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and the immune tea. She was willing to try it. She's yet to put any of her patients on it, but she's willing to try it. But most of our doctors are like, no, we don't want to hear it. So, but eventually they will have to hear it because the people are rising up and saying, no, we're not just going to sit down and die when there are alternate treatments that can help us live, And it can all be put together, but, we need to do it. And trust me, people are getting well all over the country, all over the place. In fact, I text back and forth with Dr. Makis, the great work that he's doing, and how the Canadian government almost destroyed him because he was treating cancer. And it's not just him, many of my colleagues that were already doing this. So more doctors, family practice doctors, wake up, start putting your patients on these regimens when they have cancer. Yes, let them do their thing with oncologists, but help them with the immune support and alternate medicines that can help them survive. So people are ordering our cancer immune support from all over the world, basically. Right. They're ordering from all over the world. We have orders from Nigeria, from London, from wherever. And when they order it, we just tell them, find a doctor. Okay, like in Africa, it's very easy, West Africa, because ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine is over the counter, so they can just buy it over the counter. But if you're in somewhere where it's not over the counter, you have to find somebody in a country where it's over the counter to ship it to you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're going to give at least the options, okay? Because you do need hope. And what I love is the idea is, this God put all the stuff that you just described. He put it in the earth and then put brilliance in the hearts and minds of his people to go combine that and give that. So to me, that's very uplifting when you look at it. It is amazing when you see the traditional family doc that's just refusing to bring himself up to speed when it comes to diet, lifestyle, herbs, how important our GI microbiome is to our other functions. They just don't, I think it's just laziness. I mean, I hope it's not because they're in on the cut of the demise of their patient's health. And you really
I think
wish
it's programming. I think it's also programming. I think it's more of programming that, doctors are programmed to do. And number one, programming. Number two, fear. So I think between that, I don't want to be sued, and fear to look at something new and everything. And, so that is, that's kind of bad, but that's the world that we live in. And I pray that, like I said, more doctors will wake up and do the best for their patients, because, I'm actually seeing situations where people get sick and they don't want to go to the doctor because they don't trust the doctor anymore. Please find a doctor that you trust. Don't just be sick and stay in the house. And not, I know I'm dabbling into natural medicine right now and wellness, but I'm still a medical doctor. I'm still an allopathic doctor trained. And I still believe that it's not all medicine is bad. Right. But, and moreover, take medicine till you get healed. One of the things that we do for our cancer patients is that we practically give them healing scriptures that they decree, and tell them to decree those healing scriptures daily so that, it can help them in their body. So we're dealing both spiritually, and we're adding immune, and then we're also adding the medicinal herbs to it. The Bible says that, healing, the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations,
Right. Beautiful. And what you just described is really what has to happen in medicine to fix healthcare today is you have the allopathic training and you can write a life-saving prescription anytime, anywhere. But we also have to look at these variables on a one-on-one and really heal them for the long term. Because what we don't want is our population on lifelong prescription drugs from 25 to death, and we just add a couple each year as they get older. We can actually, Bible says we should live 120. And so it's usually the things that we're choosing to do with our bodies, our decisions, or in some cases, hurtful medicines. And so you don't need medicine. Well, people, they don't need medicine. Sick people need medicine. And so the idea is get the junk out of the system, let the body do its amazing work and live a great life. And because as a nation, one of the mandates that are certainly the inspirations behind RFK, Bobby Kennedy, was make America healthy again, right? Because we know we have the sickest country on the planet, no offense for the wealthiest. It doesn't make any sense. And so we have poisonous foods. We know we have bad vaccines and bad medicines getting into the system. We have a indoor where everybody's working from home. We're inside. We're not physically out doing things. We're not in as much fellowship as we should be. So the MAHA mandate was very important to a lot of people. We don't want food dyes in our children's cereal. We don't want any of that stuff, right? How do you think we're coming along as far as implementing and turning the tide, from a top down health wise for Americans? Are we making progress, you think?
I think that the MAHA movement is trying to push a lot of things through, but I also see a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance from not just, I think the deep state is working in cahoot with the medical industrial complex. So I think there's a lot of resistance. But I think RFK has done a few great things. Even the stuff he's trying to do with vaccines and food. I am telling you, you will not understand this until you see the difference between a box of cereal sold in Europe and a box of cereal sold in America. It's so incredibly crazy. Talk about bad food. We launched, if you go on our Facebook right now, we have something called the Goshen Farmers Club, where, because I have a lot of land, I have about 300 acres in the greater Houston area. So I basically told people I can give them half an acre to farm. So a whole lot of people are coming. So we form a farmers club where we give people half acre. Right now they are grading and farming. So I'm looking at, you drive around and you see corn. You can see fields and fields and fields of corn. And you're wondering, because we're farming and there's so much weed. Every few weeks we have to take out weed. So I'm wondering, how come these fields and fields of corn don't have weed? Come to find out, the seeds of the corn that we eat, they are genetically modified. So they put those corn in there. They can spray insecticides and herbicides and everything. It will kill the weed. It will kill the insects, but it does not touch this GMO corn. And that's what we're eating. What kind of corn is that pesticides, herbicides, and everything can't touch? And then how do you digest that? But that's what we're eating. So I started getting people say, you know what, we need to get back to farming and we need to start producing good food. Like last year, we had potatoes, cocoyams, vegetables. So we just launched, a farmers club right now. Like I said,
Awesome.
in the greater Houston area, I have about 300 acres. So I'm basically giving people half an acre or 1/4 of an acre, and I'm giving them for free that they can farm. So that's going to be great. I'm looking towards a time when we'll have the Goshen Farmers Club on Saturday. People are coming from all over to come and buy good food from the farmers, because we're trying to make sure that they're going to use like chicken poop fertilizer or cow poop fertilizer, no chemicals and stuff in the food. We're trying to get good seeds that are non-GMO. So I'm looking forward to this. And so we just launched that. I was like, God, our food is horrible. Our food is, The first time I ate potatoes that came out of my garden, I was like, oh my God, this tastes completely, it was so rich in the mouth. I was like, this tastes different from the potatoes we buy from the store. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's so crazy. One of the other things that we did, we started these medicinal herbs, not just for treating cancer. We have what we call the daily wellness medicinal herbs. And you can go and put all these herbs together: moringa, mint, lemongrass, ginger, turmeric, and hibiscus. All 6 herbs in one tea bag. And I take that with Revive. And it's amazing. It's so amazing. I did not realize that I was craving sugar and it was something wrong.
Yeah.
I used to drink juice all the time, ice cream. I'll be passing donuts and I have to just stop myself from eating, gain so much weight from all that. But when I started taking this tea, I practically go to the store and I don't buy juice because I don't crave sugar anymore. It cleaned out my system. I'm losing weight. My skin is looking better. You know something. So I tell people that everybody needs daily wellness, detox wellness. So we have what we call the day. What I take is the daily wellness and revive. You know, our revive used to be called COVID Light, but now it's revive.
Yes.
Daily wellness and revive. I just brew the tea. I use revive, which also it has monk fruit and cane sugar and stevia. So it's a little sweet. It's sweet. So I use it to sweeten the tea, and it's been amazing. So I'm telling people it's time to get back to being healthy. In the past 6 years, our immunity has been messed up. I know RFK is trying his best, but there's resistance coming from everywhere. And this too has to not just be waiting for the top. We have to start grassroots movements like get back to the farm, eat healthier. So, support your local farmers, go to the, something instead of going to the store and buy food, tomatoes and food that have been there. And you're wondering how come, a tomato has been in the store for like 1 week and it's not getting spoiled. It's crazy that you see some of the things in the store. It's so crazy. Yeah, that's Revive. It used to be COVID. Like
this is the product, and of course,
yes, I want you
the
to
links
click
in there.
Go to shop. Yeah. You see that? Go to shop all.
Shop all. Yep.
Yes. Let me show you because I'll scroll to the left. We're actually using the teas even as a detox for those that have been vaccinated that are having problems. Not the family immune pack. Go back. You can scroll up. I'll show you. Okay, you see that is the detox. The next one. We are using that we do the cleanse, revive, and the ultimate wellness tea that has 8 different herbs to help people detox from the vaccine. So we're daily wellness revive. There it is. Okay, no, move. There you go. There you go. That is what I'm taking, and that is what everybody should be on. Daily wellness tea mix and revive. It has mint, moringa, lemongrass, ginger, turmeric, and revive. People should brew this tea. Excellent. And the tea bag is so good because you can brew it like 3-4 times. So I'm telling people, please get healthy. We don't know what's coming. I can bet with all the globalist plan, they definitely have another pandemic coming. And if you go to marketplace,
Oh, sorry. I've clicked you, unmute you. That was totally my fault. Okay, so sorry about that. In the marketplace, yes. Well, you don't know. And this is kind of what I like about having this in the cupboard, on the shelves, and in the system prior to. Nobody on the planet in February of 2020 was saying, I bet you this is the moment. For pandemic we didn't know. They sprung it upon us. And they gave a lot of information during that, and people got very wise during COVID. That's why it was such a blessing, because you think of it, how many businesses were ruined, how many people were injured, how many people died. We were on morphine, a ventilator, and remdesivir. They were killing them in the hospital. And you think, how could something so awful be so good? Well, it birthed something like this, to where we're now taking that classically trained doctor and we're moving them into a patient first natural medicine. Now we're indefensible. The kind of provider like that can look at the whole body and knows a treatment ailment for this. We can go hardcore prescription. We can go totally natural. That's an undefeated, that is an unbeatable provider for their patients, because everything's on the table for care. I absolutely love what you're doing. Of course, we've got the show link, discount code on this website. So we'll get the show links in there. Certainly take advantage. We're doing very well there. So this is exactly what you're describing, though, because what we're going to find, and there's people are slow to accept, we've become very addicted to food in America. It's a part of our lifestyle. We're addicted to it physically, the cravings, and that's not by accident. That's by chemical design. And then we've made it so much a part of our socializing. We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to go do these things after the ball game, for all the birthdays. And really the moment that people start to say, no, I now crave the home cooked meal, the organic foods, the non-GMOs, those are out. We don't have anything like that. We're not opening bags or putting things in a microwave. I mean, we really need that to begin to take heart in Americas. And what I love about that is that those kind of old traditional stuck in the mud doctors that are unwilling to adapt to these new desires of the patient, nothing harmful. They're just going to kind of go away. And these big drug makers that have, everybody lined up on the vaccines or blood pressure for life or cholesterol for life medicines, they're just not customers anymore. We didn't actually go do anything to them. We just got people healthy again, in which we don't need medicines. And this is how that starts with, your body is receiving the nutrients it's needing, because then it's like, bring on whatever disease, because our immune system in God's design is really your best shot in every environment, and then support where we can. So this is great. And we're going to have everything on the marketplace, how to get to the marketplace, all of that. Kind of want to just go state of the country, because there was so much work to do in this second term for Trump. I mean, we're talking about an inflationary issues, health issues. We had Maha going. We had fraud issues. We had to deal with the USAID fraud. We had to deal with Epstein and what is going on with that. We had to deal with then the foreign wars and all the different things moving in pieces. There is no doubt Donald Trump has had his plate full since day one. So much to get to. Where do you even start? That's what it feels like in America as we continue to just inch our way a little bit closer to the bottom. We're just cruising down there. 6 months before midterms, it's a really critical point in history, because we know what happens when Democrats get in charge. They open borders, they put men in women's locker rooms in sports, they go fanatic about abortion. They do really, they release criminals and they hurt people. They're evil people, there's no doubt, and they're lost people. And so we're hoping that we can get light into the hearts that are making these really unpleasant things in America. But I guess for Donald Trump, he's definitely he's took a little bruising on his appeal, at least on the right. I don't know that MAGA base is as intact as it once was, certainly in 2020 and then November 2024. What has he got to do to really get this thing right for November? Because we do need 2 more years of really relentless America first. We've got to get back to business. Enough of the funny business overseas. We got to come right back home. What do you think he's got to get doing or got to do now to get us back on track? America first. MAGA said we needed a few things done. We don't have them yet. Can he do it still before November?
I hope he can. But here's part of the issue for me, Matt. I think one of the big problems that we face is actually the MAGA, the MAGA movement itself. We're too fragmented. Do you know that do you realize that the Democrats are always in lockstep?
Oh, they're perfect.
In all their craziness, in all their evil. They were in lockstep. They kept a half-dead man in the White House and they covered it up and none of us knew. Do you understand?
Nobody blinked. Yep.
Yes, nobody knew that the guy's brain was off. So I'm just saying that I think it should not just be about Donald Trump. The MAGA movement itself needs to I know that it's great that the MAGA movement were independent thinkers, but it's kind of crazy when we start shooting friendly fire and then we get it so crazy and fragmented that we lose power. That's the issue. The devil always tries to divide and conquer. So I think the MAGA movement have to first of all stop and say, you know what? We can take a playbook from the Democrats and realize that they are always in lockstep, whatever they do. Foreign wars. As a Christian, as somebody that is reading eschatology and knows what the Bible is saying, this Persian war, I always go back to the book of Daniel about the prince of Persia and the prince of Israel. The battle is always there. These are ancient wars that will always be there till the Lord Jesus comes. So I believe that, yes, sometimes we need to engage in the wars, but I don't think that we should get so deeply engaged that it takes focus on other things. Donald Trump should be able to walk and chew gum. You know what I'm saying? So the Iranian people there's something about I was going to annihilate the Iranian people. I hope that is not something Trump plans to do, because the Iranian people need help. The Iranian people hated their government just as much. So and they jubilated when their leader was killed. But I do believe that they can find a way to work this out. I also think that Donald Trump sometimes throws these crazy things that are out there so that negotiation can start. And then he throws a bomb, right? Or he threatens a bomb, then he brings out a machete. I hope that's one of those things, because the Iranian people, we pray that, God will reach the Iranian people. There are a lot of Christians that the gospel is, really proliferating in Iran, and the Iranian people are standing up for themselves. And whatever we're doing, America is doing, it needs to protect the Iranian people, and make sure that, they have a fighting chance. And, and sometimes the wars, we can never know what is under the walls. Like you always say, if you read things about, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and everything, they support both sides of wars and such.
Right.
But we pray that, the Iranian people will be protected. And Donald Trump needs to be able to walk and chew gum.
Yeah.
So whatever he's doing out there, he needs to think about what's happening in the country. The leaders, they have to get back to thinking about what is happening in America. And of course, there's a new COVID strain, the cicada strain that is about to go through the country. I know. I hope that they don't try midterms, they try to throw another pandemic so that people can run into the house and then they can do mail-in ballots. So craziness. So we have to keep praying that, God's will be done for our nation. That's a prayer that we should all do.
Totally fair. And in Romans 13 tells us to really submit to authority, obey authority. They're put there for a reason. And so it's, that's the conflict.
Them, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you're praying for the absolute best decisions, best intentions, best heart, certainly God-led spirit. We want that for Joe Biden. We want that for the grossest leaders, that they all come to the Lord basically and submit to him. I wonder, this is my last thing, and we'll kind of finish here with Donald Trump. Do you think that he could spark those old feelings back in MAGA, that original MAGA guy that was going to every rally, was going crazy? We need this, this, and this. If he gave us a little bit more encouragement on the Epstein files, do you think something like that would bring this base? He's back and totally redeemed himself. Or is it going to be the ending of this maybe war, and now we can get back to business? I mean, don't you feel like he's got to make a move that the American first guy says, okay, he's back, let me get behind him?
He should. And I think he will, because, Donald Trump is kind of one of those people that just when you think that he's down and out, he makes a mighty comeback and everybody's like, huh? So I pray that he pulls one of those Donald Trump things, to get the MAGA movement back straight, so that at least through the midterms, because there's nothing like having a Democratic Congress and Senate. And then, now everything is just, hampered. So I pray that he'll be able to do that, and that's why I'm saying that part of this thing, the church also has to be praying for the country and for the leader. You say, pray for our leaders so that they can be wise and they can make wise decisions. That is what we need to pray. It has to be, number one, Donald Trump has to do his part to rally the movement. But number two, MAGA has to realize that it is going to be suicide for us to turn over to the Democrats, and also understand that we have to at some point unite and stop shooting friendly fire. So those things, it's a thing for all of us to think about, and not just something to throw down to the president to do by himself. And I pray too that I think this is the other thing we need to start looking at somebody's solid that is going to lead after Donald Trump. Right now, I don't really see it.
But we don't have that.
Who's gonna inherit the MAGA movement? I don't know. So we believe that somebody will wake up. All the people around right now, I'm looking at them like, huh?
Yeah, well, it's not very encouraging. Let's see, J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or Mike Pompeo, these kind of characters. And so that's kind of where when in November of 2024, the feeling, the sentiment on the right was Donald Trump has won, the country has been saved, America's back. I mean, that was certainly, but I almost worry it created too much relief in the heart of so many MAGA
and people went back to sleep. Yes.
Exactly. Because you notice when Joe Biden was in presidency and had an open border and we had transgender people everywhere you turned, it was another Pride Month feeling. They were activated. They were spirited. They were saying, no, 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 you've crossed a line and we're coming. Right. And then we fell asleep. And now we've gotten some violations kind of our values, or at least it's like, well, hey, when do we get back to the business in America, Mr. President? Because, okay, we got it all settled there. Let's get right back to it. That feeling is still so present. And so he got to come roaring back and bring that feeling of, we can save America even with him in office. We don't need something terrible to have it happen in America to improve America. It should be we don't have chaos of an open border or a pandemic. We're steadily growing and building up our communities so that maybe we can get back to that American dream at some point for our younger folks, because those are who you worry about.
Yeah, but you also realize that even though right now it's a little tough, gas is up and everything because of the current war and everything. But I'm telling you, there's been a lot of strikes, though, that have happened since he took over government. Just the fact that we went from 95 genders back to 2.
Right.
The evil has, it's not saying, and he's about to, he's gonna in May, the National Day of Prayer, Donald Trump is planning to rededicate America back to God. That is big.
Really?
God,
Wow.
I'm telling you, that is going to be big. You should hear about it. Joe, the fact that as a leader, for him to stand as a leader to rededicate the nation to God, that would be a huge one. Just so that way we need help. You know, we have to recognize that we need help. But my thing I'm saying, Matt, is that we cannot just go back to sleep and let the leader run wild.
Exactly.
The Democrats do never go to sleep. They are activists. We have to continue being activists for our agenda, because everybody's like, Donald Trump has to do something to wake me up and make me feel good. No, you as a part of the movement to save America has to do your part in educating people, in getting people's mindset changing. And then we have to also take responsibility for our families, for our children. Do you know all this stuff even just with vaccines, look at what RFK has done. And, you know, they're like, oh, they have to put laws to do this. Parents have to wake up and make decisions. Parents have to go to the PTA meetings and make sure that the libraries, all the demonic and sex books are emptied out. So we have to take personal responsibility for things too. I don't believe that everybody can just throw their hand up and just think that the leaders can do everything. No, this is our country. And together we have to disciple this nation. And together we have to pray for the nation and pray for our leaders, which we do in our ministry all the time. We have to pray for the nation and pray for our leaders that, you know, God's wisdom, God's plan and purpose and his will be done. So I don't believe in what would Donald Trump do. I believe what should all of us do.
That's right. That's so well said. It's an inside job. And these people, why on earth would you think they're in there to get wealthy? For 95% of Congress, it's to go get rich and powerful, but to somehow suggest they still shouldn't be accountable to you, their employer, because that's the way it reads. And if they're not doing a good job, we got to get them out, but yet they're in there for 30, 40 years. So America does have to wake up, take their reins back. I'm always preaching to the baby boomer, that generation, wake up. It's not too late. You've got a lot of young folks behind you that want to be able to own a home one day, like the land you're talking. I mean, what a nice sense of pride and ownership to just own something. They don't want to rent an apartment their whole life, right? They don't want to not have kids because it's too expensive. And so we can still right the ship, stop wasting money, stop burning money. Let's spend it all on the American people. And as soon as we're kind of on our way, we'd love to get back out to the nations and help the nations. We always want to have a heart for the nations, but not at the neglect of our own people. And that's kind of where we've been for so long. This is fantastic. Now, come on, let's tell us, everybody, where we can find you, follow you, support you, purchase product. Where's all the places to get you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Dr. Stella Immanuel, Dr. Stella Immanuel, Facebook, X, Instagram. And I send out a lot of things, you know, questioning the globalists and all their craziness and how to get prepared. You know, if you go on my Facebook page, Stella Immanuel MD, there's a video there about how to get prepared. Everybody needs to be prepared. What I mean by prepared is that the globalists still have their plan. Pandemics are coming. We know that. They've been telling us, Bill Gates, WHO, all of them, next pandemic is coming. Make sure that you have hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin in your medicine cabinet. Make sure you rebuild your immune system. Like I said, the daily wellness and revive tea, everybody should be on that. I tell everybody should have COVID spray in their house, especially with environmental pollution and allergies and all that stuff. If you go to marketplace.drstellamd.com and if you use promo code, is it Matthew?
It's Matt.
Yeah, if you use promo code Matt, you get a discount. So please get your family health. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, you need several things to be prepared. Number one, start learning to grow your own food. Even people that live in the urban area, you can learn urban farming. Right now, we're encouraging Houstonians and people in the greater Houston area, we're getting together, forming communities that will be able to farm. Number two, stock up food. Make sure that if something crazy happens, you have enough food for your family for like at least 6 months so that you don't have to run out and go take the mark or go take some new vaccine. Number three, make sure that you have the medicines. If you're on any medicine, make sure that you have extra in your house. Don't throw away your medicines because they expire. Most pills are good for about maybe 5-10 years after they expire. So don't throw them away. Keep them in the medicine cabinet. You might need them in the future if something crazy happens. Then get hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin and put in your medicine cabinet. That you can get on drstellamd.com. And if you use promo code Matt, you get a discount. Make sure that you stock it in your medicine cabinet. It can help with just about any virus that these demons want to throw out. Number 5, build your immune system. A lot of our immune system has been messed up in the past 5 years. Either you got a jab or you got COVID or you got shedded upon. system, and then the food, environmental pollution right now, lab-grown meat, and all kinds of stuff. So make sure that, like I said, the daily wellness and revive, cellular detox, just clean your system up, and then make sure that you're taking vitamins and minerals that will help you, to help your system stay healthy and to prevent all this thing. You can get those from marketplace.drstellamd.com. Use promo code MATT, you'll get a discount. Please start looking at your food labels. Don't just cut back on the sugar. Like I said, I didn't know that all the sugar and juice and everything that I was craving, I knew it was wrong, but I just couldn't stop myself. But when I started taking the daily wellness tea, I'm telling you,
Yes.
I don't crave sugar anymore. I can't remember the last time I drank juice. I mean, months, weeks I've not drank juice. I used to drink jugs of juice every day or two, So there are things you will do to clean your system to make sure that your system start craving better food.
That's right.
So we need to do that and read labels. We don't try to find the local abattoir, go and buy meat, stock it in your fridge. I don't buy meat from the store because you don't know whether it's lab grown or it's real, and everything. And so read the labels, make sure you're not getting something GMO lab grown,
Yes.
And learn to take responsibility for you and your family, create communities that can support and survive and help each other, And
I love that.
I would tell everybody, give your life to Jesus, because at the end of the day, the safest place to be is in Christ.
Amen to that. What you just described is, we can clearly say now, because what you just described with ingredients and with the government, the FDA has abandoned its post. They're no longer looking out for your best. You will have to do that on your own. It's an inside job. Getting a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ can bring wisdom, clarity, hope. It can bring so much in your thinking. And then all of a sudden you're going to say, you know what, that is right. I heard this one time, if you fed your children the ingredients of the vaccine, you'd go to jail. But somehow in a shot, those still very toxic, very poisonous inputs are somehow okay. And I just think, just get yourself to a place to where there's no pride. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was right. It's okay. What's the best for my body? I just want to know the truth. The Lord came here literally as the truth. And so that's what we should be seeking as Christians. And then just as Americans that have been gifted so much, take advantage of keeping your health tip top. And there's just so much you can do to do it. So this has been fantastic. I am so grateful to have you as a part of the show. Of course, we'll get show links up everywhere. We'll connect with you again. We'll get healthier again. We're just on our way again. And we'll do this until next time, folks. Serve God, help others, stay good. Goodbye. God bless everybody.
God bless you.
The Matthew Dark Show, your one-stop show for truth, courage, fellowship, and faith. Available everywhere you get your podcasts.